Conor versus Logan Paul.
Is that supposed to happen?
Ariel Hawani says it's actually quite easy to make happen considering WWE and UFC are under the same banner.
I don't go with Logan. I'm going to go with Conor. I just realized he said Logan instead of Jake.
He ain't even fighting the real Paul.
But Logan's bigger.
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined, not even close.
Boxing World has reacted to the $250 million fight between Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor recently. McGregor dropped a hint regarding the imminent announcement of his boxing showdown with Paul. He also teased the hefty paydays both fighters could expect, while sharing the potential location for the event in India. McGregor's last appearance in combat sports came at UFC 264. Where he faced Dustin Poirier. A horrific shin injury in the opening round forced him out of the fight and led to an ended hiatus from competition. Since that fateful night, he has yet to make a return to the sport. McGregor's return to the octagon seemed imminent in June 2024, when UFC officials revealed he would headline UFC 303 against Michael Chandler. However, the comeback was short-lived as McGregor had to withdraw from the bout due to a toe injury. McGregor recently shared an update from on X, revealing that the highly anticipated McGregor versus Paul fight will take place at one stadium in Mumbai, India. The post also highlighted the potential for both fighters to earn $250 million each from the event. The 36-year-old fighter accompanied the repost with a caption expressing his deep appreciation for India. An X user tweeted Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor. $250 million mega fight set for Mumbai's Wanada Stadium in historic Visit India campaign to this. Conor replied with emojis later. The news was shared by a number of media sites, including Happy Punch, along with another X update.
So Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought CryptoZoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
Caption said Conor McGregor seeming confirmed reports that the Logan Paul fight is finalized for $250 Molan each at Wanted Stadium in India. Although Conor McGregor has hinted at the confirmation of his upcoming bout with Jake Paul, the combat sports world is still waiting for an official announcement. The reported $250 million fight purses for each fighter far exceed what most boxers typically earn from their matches, Interview 2. Reportedly outrageous fight purses of McGregor and Paul suggest the backing of a high-profile figure with deep pockets. That figure is none other than Mukesh Ambani, the Indian business mogul. The 67-year-old from Mumbai is currently ranked 9th among the world's wealthiest individuals, with an estimated net worth of approximately $120 billion, according to reports Ananta Mani. His younger son is the main driver behind the fight's potential occurrence. Ex-users have also reacted to this announcement from Conor. This user said been following Conor since 2012 from India, and if you do this clown show, then I'll be retiring as your hardcore fan. Another user said, embarrassing. Honestly, boxing Mayweather is one thing. A YouTuber from someone who's been a fan of yours. This is scraping the barrel. This fan said, couldn't imagine years ago that I would see a great like Conor stoop down to losing an exhibition against a YouTuber. But here we are. Another added, hopefully you're not going to agree to fix the fight and lose like everyone else did, just to make that D-egg seem relevant. And this fan said, bro still doesn't know if he's fighting Jake or Logan. All he knows is how much more cocaine he will be able to afford. After this fight, this fan mentioned, if those figures are even close to what he gets, he's never coming back to fight for the UFC. Why would you won't get seriously hurt in the exhibition?
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined, not even close.
And this user said, I'm having a very hard time seeing him come back to the UFC, getting hard to take his words seriously. The 36-year-old Irishman was slated to return to the octagon in a highly anticipated UFC headliner against Michael Chandler. This past June, however, he withdrew from the fight, just weeks before the event, blaming a fractured pinky toe for his decision. The former featherweight and lightweight champion has not stepped into the cage since his devastating 2021 loss to Dustin Pure, a bout in which he endured a catastrophic leg injury recently. McGregor disclosed his interest in a high-profile boxing match against Logan Paul, the WWE star, content creator and entrepreneur. However, according to reports, the Ambani family, who are behind the potential event, had other plans, envisioning Logan's younger brother Jake Paul as the opponent for the notorious fighter. Instead, the Ambani family stands as India's wealthiest, with Mukesh Ambani, their patriarch, ranking as the world's 9th richest individual. According to Forbes, MMA journalist Ariel Helwani reports that Ambani net worth is estimated to be approximately $120 billion in 1999. The business mogul founded Reliance Infocom Limited, later assuming control of the Patalganga petrochemical plant. In addition, he became a member of the National Academy of Engineering. In 2016, was named a director at Bank of America, owns the Mumbai Indians, and established the Indian Super League. Helwani further speculates.
Conor McGregor came out and said that he had agreed to fight Logan Paul. What is the latest there? What is going on?
From what I understand, there was conversations about it a while ago. I don't know if Conor just woke up in like Ibiza or something like that and decided that he wanted to talk about it today. From the last thing I heard, there was no updates there, so I don't know if he's just out of his mind and just talking about it. But Logan just had a kid. He's locked in. He's a girl dad. And so, you know, unless there's something that I haven't heard, which is very possible, I don't know what the hell Conor's talking about. But I'll say this. No matter what, I think the boxing world loved to see it. I think we're talking about two very controversial personalities. One loved and hated, two countries, two different fighting disciplines. The world watches that fight. That's another Tyson, Jake Paul. I don't care what you say, people watch that fight. So I want to see it happen, for sure.
That Mish's 29-year-old son Anant Ambani, with a reported net worth of $40 billion, preferred to bring Jake Paul into the match rather than his older brother, offering the following explanation. Jake Paul Mike Tyson happened around a month ago. The son of Ambani says, "I want something like this. I want to do something like this. I want something big." He added, "They're doing it in Saudi Arabia. They're doing it all over the place. I want something in India." My understanding was, the first choice is, we want Jake Paul. We want to be in the Jake Paul business. We want a Jake Paul fight here in India. And so the top choice was Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. And that's why Jake Paul tweeted, once this all came out. Although Jake has challenged McGregor multiple times before, the content creator, who boasts an impressive 11-1 boxing record, now insists he will only consider facing the UFC. Interview 3. In November 2016, he solidified his dominance by securing the lightweight title with a win over Eddie Alvarez. But his reign was short-lived. His belts were stripped due to inactivity, as he chose to pursue a high-profile boxing showdown with Floyd Mayweather in 2017, rather than defend his UFC titles. He made his return to the octagon in October 2018, facing his fierce rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. After a brutal fourth-round neck-crank submission, McGregor was defeated. But the chaos didn't end there. A wild riot broke out when Khabib vaulted over the cage to attack McGregor's teammate Dylan Dennis, sparking a violent altercation. McGregor finds himself in the midst of a 2-fight losing streak at the hands of Poirier, with no action since his leg injury in July 2021.
I would love to do a UFC fight.
Man, who the hell are you gonna fight, bro?
Who do you want me to fight, Mike?
Maybe Conor or something like
Man,
that.
you're-
But it would have to be like
it-
right now, like
it-
straight off a bench.
He's actually hungover when he shows up there.
Yes. Roadhouse movie promoting Conor.
the
with
movie's
Jabberjaw.
great, man. Jake Gyllenhaal.
That might work. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, you know what was going
I
on,
know
brother.
what was going on
You
there.
know what was
Yeah,
going
I
on.
do.
On the other hand, Jake Paul has been making waves in the boxing arena since his 2020 debut. Now insists he will only consider facing the UFC icon if the promotion's president Dana White plays a role in making the fight happen. He took to X recently to claim, "Now it all makes sense why Conor McGregor and his management team have been desperately trying to get MVP to negotiate for a fight between us, as we told them privately. And I'm now saying it public. The only way we're willing to explore me versus Conor in a pro-boxing MMA fight is if Dana White UFC are at the table directly, or make it clear they are okay with discussions. Conor is washed, needs the PS Logan by however he wants. Although McGregor hasn't competed in 3 years, his career in mixed martial arts boasts an impressive 226 records since his professional debut in 2008. The Irish fighter entered the UFC in April 2013 and quickly made his mark, capturing the featherweight title in 2015 with a stunning 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo in November 2016. He solidified his dominance by securing the lightweight title with a win over Eddie Alvarez, but his reign was short-lived. His belts were stripped due to inactivity, as he chose to pursue a high-profile boxing showdown with Floyd Mayweather in 2017, rather than defend his UFC titles. He made his return to the octagon in October 2018, facing his fierce rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. After a brutal fourth-round neck-crank submission, McGregor was defeated. But the chaos didn't end there. A wild riot broke out when Khabib vaulted over the cage to attack McGregor's teammate Dylan Dennis, sparking a violent altercation. McGregor finds himself in the midst of a two-fight losing streak at the hands of Poirier with no action since his leg injury in July 2021.
So Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought CryptoZoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
But McGregor's fierce determination and lightning-fast reflexes could prove to be formidable obstacles. If the match is confirmed, it will. Mark McGregor's first return to the boxing ring since his 2017 bout with Floyd Mayweather. He added, "Does he fight in the UFC? I think that's a clear no. Does he fight outside the UFC? I think it's always possible for him to fight outside the UFC, if the UFC allows it. I don't know if the UFC is going to get behind it. I just don't know how those deals are going to play out. But does he fight in the UFC? No, and I'm going to leave it at that. He won't be in the UFC. I don't think he'll fight in the UFC ever again." There was a period when Brown stood nearly solitary in his belief about McGregor's future, but the repeated setbacks in his scheduled return to the octagon have sparked widespread uncertainty over whether the former two-division UFC champion will ever fight again. McGregor has also faced persistent challenges off the field, including the outcome of a civil lawsuit in Ireland, where a jury determined him responsible for sexual assault. It's unclear whether legal issues make McGregor's return to the ring more or less probable, but Brown's concerns focus on the chance of him coming back to MMA rather than pursuing another boxing match, like his 2017 bout with Floyd Mayweather. Brown said, "I'd like to see him fight again. I'd like to see him get his life together, get back in the gym and do his thing, but how long ago did I originally say he's not fighting again? I think it was at least early 2024. I haven't had confidence he was going to fight in the UFC for a long time, but I think it's always possible for him to fight outside the UFC. If he can work out whatever deal with the UFC, he's still under contract. I think that's always a possibility." He further added, "There's so much money to be made doing a Logan Paul fight. Of course he would do that. He doesn't have to come back and fight an Islam Makhachev or something, or Dustin Poirier or Nate Diaz or anything. He is just going and boxing a guy who is not a pro boxer." Brown is aware that facing one of the best fighters in the world